big, warm, virtual welcome for our next storyteller, Chris Yraola.
So the best way I can describe my mom is that she's really good at taking care of people. She was an ICU nurse and she took care of thousands of patients. And even when she wasn't working, she would visit our neighbors and our family members who were sick or elderly, and she would take care of them on her off duty. She also loved taking care of her friends. She used to put on these get-togethers and parties at her house growing up, and everybody loved them. Everybody had a blast, except for me, because growing up, I was learning how to play piano. And at these parties, my mom would force me to perform for her friends. And I hated performing for her friends. I didn't like it at all. But I did learn how important it was to take care of people. And I even thought I was going to be a nurse. I remember growing up with a toy stethoscope. And I remember in first grade, my mom teaching me how CPR works. And I was so proud of myself. And so, yeah, I thought I was going to be a nurse. But as I got older, I realized I don't like blood. I don't like the sight of blood, and I don't want to be a nurse. So I decide I want to be a music teacher. And my hope is that I can take care of my students as well as my mom took care of her patients. Well, it's October 19th, 2019, and I'm living in this small studio apartment with my wife and my 2-year-old son. And this studio apartment is basically a renovated basement that sits under where my parents live. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I have my phone out, and I'm taking pictures of my 2-year-old because he's 2 and super cute. And I hear my dad calling my name from outside. And he says, Christopher, come. There's something wrong with your mom. She is not breathing. So we run upstairs, and we go to my mom's room, and we see that she's lying on the floor and she's not breathing. So we call 911, and the dispatcher says, we're sending an ambulance, but until they arrive, we need you to put us on speakerphone so we can guide you as you administer CPR. So for the next 8 minutes, my wife and I alternate performing CPR on my mom. And I remember when it was my turn, I remember pressing against my mom's chest, desperately hoping that she would take a breath. And I could hear the sound of the dispatch counting along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I remember she didn't quite feel like my mom at that moment. Well, the ambulance arrived, and the paramedics did the best they could, and they soon after let us know that my mom had already died. A day or so later, we started to plan the funeral, and it turns out my mom was still taking care of us because over the years she had pre-planned and prepaid for her funeral service already, and she even picked out her chapel where the services were going to be held. So she was taking care of us, but she didn't plan out the music for the service. And so as her son and the music teacher, I organized the music for my mom's service. I planned to sing a solo accompanied by choir, and then I invited my former and current students along with some friends to sing in that choir. On the day of the funeral, we couldn't fit everybody into the chapel. My mom's friends, our family, and this wonderful choir. There were people standing outside of the chapel to attend the service. When it came time for my turn to stand up in front of everybody and sing my solo, I looked out at everybody and I saw all these people that my mom spent her life taking care of. And I saw this choir full of students that I try to take care of. And in that moment, these people were doing the very best they could to take care of us. And this time, I didn't mind performing for my mom's friends.